Hi, I'm David Gant, your Buncombe County Commission Chair. I'd like to talk to you about the meeting we just had on May 17, 2011. By far the biggest part of the meeting was a discussion of the budget for Buncombe County for next year. We heard from Sheriff Duncan and Wanda Green, our county manager, about how we're going to pay for the things we have in Buncombe County, what the tax rate's going to be. Wanda Green was given 4 instructions when she prepared, as she started preparing the budget. The first one was we wanted to keep the same tax rate, which we've accomplished. Number 2, we wanted to have the money going to education to be the same amount as last year. Now that's a little bit harder because the education is getting cut federally, state, everywhere they look, people are cutting education funding. We felt our part as a local community is to put them right where they were last year. And that's what we did. The third thing we asked Wanda Green, our county manager, to do was to have all the core services remain where they are. Core services are things like education, law enforcement, and social welfare systems. Now, we would probably have a much lower budget if it weren't for the bad economic times. Because when economic times are bad, people use more social welfare systems. Some of the figures we heard about the social welfare system were disappointing. One of them is that the Medicaid, that's health insurance for low-income people, was up 13% in 1 year. 18% of all people who live in Buncombe County are now on Medicaid. That's 39,000. The biggest adjustment in our social net programs was food assistance. The food assistance numbers went up 70% from last year. Times are bad, and a lot of people that have 1, 2, some people have 3 jobs are still not making enough. So we're going to have to redouble our efforts and work even harder to get jobs because obviously we're not doing everything that we need to do to make sure that everyone in Buncombe County has a good living. And then so those are the 4 things we had the county manager do. She performed that. The budget itself is just a little bit more than last year. Even though the tax rate is the same, there's a little bit of tax increase in the property values. So that's where the additional money came in. But we kept the rate the same. The other thing we asked her to do was to minimize the number of people who lost jobs. Now you can't trim a budget like we had to with discretionary money. You can't trim the discretionary part of a budget without taking out some jobs. 93 Buncombe County positions were eliminated in this budget. We now have less people working for us than we did 10 years ago. The number of those 93 positions that lost jobs and don't have a job now is only 6. So we have 6 people, we're still looking to place them, that don't have jobs as a result of this budget and this tough economic times. I think we're going to be, I suspect we're going to be the only county in the state and one of the few in the country that can make that kind of claim. And I'm proud of that because that's our value system. Education, law enforcement, core services, keep the tax rate the same, take care of people of low income, and make sure that the fewest and lowest number of people lose their jobs over this. Because not a single one of them had anything to do with this economic downturn. The sheriff's budget was also very good. While he's asking for an overall increase, he's also taken out 14 positions in a much smaller budget. Sheriff Duncan does a lot for our community. The response time is down to 9 minutes. And that's remarkable. It's a lot lower than it's ever been. We're proud of that. That's one of the things we need to do. There were some things that the state of North Carolina can do to mess up both the sheriff's budget and our budget. If that happens, we may have to do a continuation budget, which means we'll put it off and wait. We also, in the school budget, we're going to open 2 new schools. And a lot of people say you're doing a lot of construction, but this is the lowest cost ever to do construction work. And certainly the rates we have to borrow money with are some of the lowest rates in history. So we're going to keep doing that because we need to replace some of the antiquated facilities and to become more efficient. We're trying to get rid of all the leases we have because that's just money that will never be recaptured. We're trying to put as many people to work as we can, but we're going to take care of the students and teachers and low-income people. And that was our budget priority, and that's what I think we will see in the final budget. We also heard from the Nursing Home Community Advisory Board. Sonia Friedrich gave a wonderful report on the numbers they did. And listen to some of these numbers. Last year they had 364 hours of visits. That's and also 3,150 miles travel around Buncombe County to check on people, to make sure that the nursing homes are doing what they're supposed to do and that adult patients are treated properly. And that number is probably about half of what it really is, because Ms. Friedrich indicated that a lot of people don't bother with the paperwork, and she doubled the amount that was probably there. There are 1,829 adult patients that are in nursing homes in Buncombe County. We have 19 different facilities, and it's real important we take care of those folks. We're going to be there one day, and we're going to want someone to take care of us. And it's the right thing to do. And the Nursing Home Community Advisory Committee is a volunteer committee that does a wonderful service for all of us. Whether it's us, your mother, your father, your grandparents, it is a great thing to check and make sure that people are getting what they are entitled to get in their final years. Our next meeting will be June 7, 2011. It'll be a meeting where we'll talk about the budget, and I suspect we'll approve the budget unless the state of North Carolina General Assembly throws us a curve. I'm David Gant, your Buncombe County Commission Chair, and thank you for letting me serve you.